There comes a point in every human life where you open Roblox, stare at the homepage for about 30 seconds, and realize you have absolutely nothing to play. You scroll past the same 20 games you have already played to death, click on one, leave after approximately 4 minutes, and then return to the homepage as if Roblox personally owes you entertainment. This is the true Roblox experience. You have access to millions of games, and somehow every single one of them looks like something you have already experienced in a previous life. So today, we are fixing that problem by going through some Roblox games you should play when you are bored. Because apparently we have reached a stage of civilization where sitting in a digital parking lot for 3 hours counts as an evening activity. First up, we have Doors, which is essentially Roblox, deciding that the best way to entertain you is to make you walk through a hotel while several supernatural creatures attempt to turn your internal organs into modern art. The concept is beautifully simple. You enter a hotel, open doors, collect items, solve puzzles, and try not to get murdered by something that sounds like a demon having a respiratory emergency. The first few rooms are calm enough. You walk around, open drawers, steal vitamins from strangers, and generally behave like someone who has never heard of private property. Then the lights flicker, the music changes, and suddenly your entire personality becomes, where is the nearest closet? The best part about Doors is how quickly confidence disappears. You start the game thinking you are some fearless professional gamer. 5 minutes later, you are hiding inside a wardrobe because a pixelated creature made a noise somewhere in the building. This is especially effective when playing with friends because there is always one person who claims they know exactly what they are doing and then dies immediately. They will confidently explain the mechanics, tell everyone to stay calm, and then get obliterated before finishing the sentence. You are left standing there thinking, well, fantastic, our tactical commander has been reduced to a corpse in room 37. If you want something less horrifying and more aggressively stupid, you have to try natural disaster survival. The entire premise is basically standing somewhere and waiting for nature to decide you have had enough. You spawn into a map, receive absolutely no useful information, and then a tornado, tsunami, earthquake, meteor shower, or some other environmental disagreement arrives. Suddenly, everyone starts climbing onto the tallest structure available, like a group of rats escaping a sinking ship. The game has remained entertaining because there is something deeply funny about watching 100 Roblox characters collectively panic over a weather forecast. Nobody has a plan. Nobody knows where they are going. Someone is always jumping off a building for no reason. Another person is standing completely still, apparently accepting their fate. Then the disaster begins, and the entire server turns into a low-budget evacuation documentary. You survive, the game gives you a little victory message, and then you immediately do the exact same thing again. There is no grand reward. There is no meaningful character development. You simply survived a hurricane in Roblox, and now you have earned the right to do it again. If you want something with more freedom, Brook Haven is always sitting there, like a digital sandbox, where approximately 90% of the population has decided to become an unemployed celebrity. Brook Haven is one of those games where you don't really need a goal. You create a character, pick a house, drive around, and somehow end up involved in a completely unnecessary storyline within 10 minutes. You might start by walking into a house, and suddenly someone is pretending to be your long-lost brother, while another player is driving a Lamborghini through the living room. There are no rules because the rules are apparently stored in another dimension. The beauty of Brook Haven is that you can do almost anything, which means players will immediately use that freedom to do the dumbest possible thing. You will see families consisting of 7 people who have never met, teenagers driving sports cars into swimming pools, and someone standing on a rooftop holding a baby while dramatic music plays in their head. Nobody knows what is happening, but everybody is committed to the performance. If roleplay is not your thing, then perhaps you need something where your brain gets switched off entirely. This is where Arsenal enters the building. Arsenal is one of those games where you spawn in and immediately get shot by someone who appears to have been training for this moment since birth. The rounds are fast, the weapons constantly change, and every player moves around like they have consumed approximately 14 cans of energy drink. You kill someone with a pistol, receive a completely different weapon, get eliminated, respawn, and immediately begin the process again. There is no time to think about what happened. You simply accept the violence and continue. Arsenal is particularly good when you are bored because matches don't demand a massive time commitment. You can play for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or several hours before suddenly realizing you have been staring at a Roblox character holding a shotgun since sunset. It has the perfect combination of chaos and simplicity. If you miss a shot, you die. If you hit the shot, somebody else dies. Philosophy has never been this complicated. Then there is Tower of Hell, a game specifically designed to test how much patience a human being possesses before they start speaking to their computer like a disappointed parent. The objective is simple: reach the top of an obstacle course without falling. Unfortunately, Roblox physics have decided that gravity is a personal insult. You jump across platforms, carefully climb around spinning obstacles, make it 90% of the way up, and then fall directly to the bottom because your character's left foot touched a surface at an angle that apparently violates international law. The best part is watching someone else fail right after you. Suddenly, you feel better. You are not bad at the game. The game is simply corrupt. Everyone is suffering together, which is strangely comforting. If Tower of Hell makes you question your sanity, then Evade will finish the job. Evade throws you into maps while terrifying next bots chase everyone around at ridiculous speeds. You run, slide, jump, hide, rescue other players, and occasionally watch someone get launched across the map while screaming through voice chat. There is something uniquely entertaining about seeing 20 people sprint in the same direction because a giant image of some internet meme has decided to hunt them down. You don't even need to know who the next bot is. If it is moving towards you at high speed, you leave. That is the entire survival strategy. You do not negotiate with the PNG. You do not ask what it wants. You run. If you want something more relaxed, Welcome to Bloxburg gives you the opposite experience. Instead of being chased by monsters, you get to experience the thrilling world of paying bills. Nothing says entertainment quite like logging into Roblox and voluntarily taking a virtual job. You wake up in your house, drive to work, perform the same task repeatedly, collect money, return home, and then spend the money building a house where you can repeat the process tomorrow. Somehow, this works. Bloxburg is addictive because building your house gives you a reason to keep earning money. You start with a tiny structure that looks like a cardboard box and eventually build some enormous mansion with 17 bedrooms, despite having no friends and no explanation for why you need 17 bedrooms. You spend hours adjusting furniture by 3 centimeters because apparently the couch needs to be positioned precisely enough to satisfy the United Nations. It is peaceful, though. Sometimes you do not want explosions. Sometimes you want to build a kitchen and stare at a virtual refrigerator for 20 minutes. For something more competitive, BedWars is another excellent choice. The premise is simple: protect your bed, destroy the other team's bed, and eliminate everyone before they eliminate you. Naturally, Roblox players have transformed this simple concept into an arms race, where somebody arrives at your base 30 seconds into the match with enough resources to construct the Burj Khalifa. You begin the game collecting iron, feeling optimistic about your future, and then a player with a suspiciously advanced understanding of Roblox movement appears over the horizon. Suddenly, they are bridging toward your base at an angle that should not be physically possible. They break your bed, kill you, and disappear into the sunset. You stare at the screen wondering whether you have been playing Roblox or accidentally joined an Olympic training program. If you prefer strategy without someone launching themselves at your face, try Superbomb Survival. The concept is exactly what the name suggests. Bombs fall from the sky and you attempt to survive. Buildings explode, objects fly everywhere, and the environment becomes progressively less habitable. You spend most of the match looking upward with the same expression people have when they realize they forgot to submit an assignment. You see a bomb heading toward you and start running. The bomb changes direction. You change direction. The bomb changes direction again. At some point, you realize you are being psychologically bullied by a cartoon explosive. Another game worth checking out is Murder Mystery 2, especially if you enjoy accusing your friends of crimes they absolutely did not commit. One player becomes the murderer, another becomes the sheriff, and everyone else spends the round wandering around trying not to get stabbed. The murderer has to remain hidden while quietly eliminating players, which means every person suddenly becomes a detective. Someone gets killed in a hallway, and 5 people immediately start making accusations based on absolutely nothing. I saw him near the body. Congratulations, Sherlock. You have identified the concept of being near a location. The sheriff gets a gun, which sounds powerful until you remember the average Roblox player has the accuracy of a malfunctioning security camera. Then you have games like Piggy, which combine puzzle solving, survival, and the uncomfortable realization that a giant anthropomorphic pig is hunting you through a school. Piggy became popular for good reason. Each map gives you objectives to complete while avoiding the killer. And the tension comes from having to find keys, tools, and other items while something is constantly trying to murder you. The puzzles give you enough to think about without becoming a university examination, and the matches have enough chaos to stay entertaining. Then there is Bee Swarm Simulator, which sounds like the least interesting game ever created until you realize you have somehow spent 3 hours collecting pollen. This is the strange power of simulator games. They give you a simple task, attach numbers to your progress, and suddenly your brain decides those numbers are the most important thing in existence. You collect pollen, make honey, upgrade your equipment, Get better bees, collect more pollen, make more honey, and repeat the process until you are sitting there at 3 in the morning thinking about optimizing your virtual insect workforce. It is absurd. It is also weirdly satisfying. If you want something with a completely different kind of chaos, try work at a pizza place. You get a job, make pizzas, deliver orders, work the cash register, or manage ingredients. It sounds peaceful until somebody decides to drive the delivery vehicle directly into a lake. The game has existed for years because the simple cooperative structure gives players room to create their own entertainment. You can genuinely work together and run the restaurant efficiently, or you can spend 20 minutes throwing pizza dough at your coworkers. Both approaches are equally valid. There is also Jailbreak, which gives you the opportunity to become a criminal, police officer, or professional driver with an unhealthy interest in expensive vehicles. The game gives you a massive map to explore, vehicles to collect, robberies to perform, and police officers to annoy. You might start with the intention of doing one robbery, and 2 hours later, you are involved in a high-speed chase through the city because somebody stole your helicopter. Jailbreak works especially well when you want something open-ended because there is always another objective sitting somewhere on the map. If all of these games sound too normal, then there are always the games where the entire point is to experience something completely ridiculous. Games like Nico's Nextbots turn simple survival into a screaming contest, while horror games, such as The Mimic, provide enough atmosphere to make you regret playing with your headphones on. There are also social games, where the objective is basically to stand around and interact with strangers. Which sounds boring until you witness two people create a 20-minute argument over who owns a virtual house. Roblox has an almost unlimited supply of these experiences. That is ultimately why Roblox works so well when you are bored. You do not need to know exactly what you want to play. You only need to start looking. There is a game for people who want horror, a game for people who want competitive combat, a game for people who want to build houses, a game for people who want to pretend they have a job, and a game for people who want to run from a giant picture of a screaming man. You could spend years playing Roblox and still barely scratch the surface of what players have created. The trick is avoiding the cycle of opening the homepage, seeing the same games, getting bored, closing Roblox, and then opening Roblox again 5 minutes later because somehow you have forgotten why you closed it. So the next time you are sitting there with nothing to do and your brain has entered power-saving mode, pick something completely different. Play a horror game if you normally play simulators. Try a competitive game if you normally roleplay. Build an absurd house. Get chased by an enormous JPEG. Become a pizza employee. Spend 3 hours raising bees for reasons nobody understands. The important thing is to stop staring at the homepage, waiting for entertainment to arrive at your doorstep. Roblox has enough games to keep you occupied for an unreasonable amount of time. You simply have to click something. And if the game turns out to be terrible, congratulations. You have discovered another Roblox game to complain about in the next video.